Hello. Welcome to another ES Futures trading stream. Today is Monday. It is 11:37 Eastern Time. It is the 13th, Monday the 13th. All right. The market is coming from before that. I decided to name the stream markets and time frames because I think that is going to be of relevance for the upcoming days. I hope you didn't get emotional today and traded this kind of markets right now. Um, 1, 2, 3, 4 periods. The fifth period is under development. This kind of markets can whipsaw the heck out of traders. Mostly because the impatience that this kind of environment generates. To understand, I'm not trying to. I guess what I'm going to say may sound too rational or trying to find rationality in this irrational business, because that's what this business is super irrational, right? And we got here right now, before going to talk about time frames, just wanted to take a time and check what is going on right now as we are speaking. Right? You have these periods 1, 2, A, B, C, D here, and notice how we don't have excess on the upper side, we don't have excess on the lower side, and as this, it is a rotational day, and as this period develops, there is a small, let me call this, there's a small area here. I'm going to do a rectangle here. This is this area here, right? Which is disregarding the first two periods. This is kind of distribution here. A small distribution, okay? A small distribution here. Once if this the market closes this one, for example, right now has closed. I would say still hasn't. It's just one tick open. Okay, I'm wondering if this can start moving higher and start building value here. What I'm trying to see here is, in the same way as we have rotation here, we may have the same thing, but this time a little bit higher. The market going higher and start trading sideways before moving higher or lower again. Right now, I don't have any particular interest in being in this market. What I have seen is extremely short-term trading here. Why I say that? Let me bring the volume charts here. Right. Notice relative to Friday, to start the volume was lower, right? And as the time passes, it drops, okay? But I'm not going to compare to Friday because that was a really special day. I'm going to compare to Tuesday. What do we have here? Slightly higher, right? Slightly higher relative to this day. It was going lower in the past 4 or 5 days. If this continues, it's going to end kind of about here, which is going to be about the same area that the rest of the market was during the past 10 days, which basically means we're back to normal, or to the normal that we had, all right? We had before. The break that we had on Friday was extremely emotional, since, or because, okay, this one has been closed. Let me erase this thing. Notice, let's start monitor, and this is the fourth time this is repeating. Okay, what I mean that this might repeat. What I mean with that? Notice that as this market goes higher here, goes lower here, goes higher here, there is nothing here below. Same thing happened here as well. As this market goes higher again, notice what do we have here? There's no volume here. Now, if the market is coming lower again, and can you see that? Yes, huh? There's nothing here. So this market, if we are following this market, you might think now this market might come down all the way down to here. Okay, that's what traders have the tendency to work. I have open. I'm trying to do some studies here. Or to create some custom studies here for this chart. I'm still working this. What I want to have here, I want to create this in the same way as I have volume for the stock exchange, for the New York Stock Exchange. I want to have I am trying to create something similar to this, but just for the ES. Just for the years. Thinkorswim doesn't have that. It doesn't allow me to do that. I was trying to do it in Sierra, but I didn't have success so far. So I am still refining that code. But check this out. This is 5-minute chart. This is 5-minute charts. I don't use 5-minute charts, but most retail will be using, or short-term traders will be using. Notice what we have here. We have a big range here, right? We have a range here in this time frame. I'm going to extend this. So what is the next thing here? So traders will be watching. Okay, we didn't take this high, so this is support now. Let's go down to here. That's true. Try to. This is also a bias, right? The auto success here, and this is a way to trading as well. I just try to think what most people would think, okay? And also try to think how a better or more sophisticated traders will think relative to what other people, less educated or less sophisticated or less technically inclined or type of traders may think, all right? And that's part of this. Okay, the logical thing, okay, market may come down here, right? Because it did that before. Now it didn't reach the top here, so probably this one is going to come out here. That's what most people will think, or may think. I'm not saying we. I guess I'm being too arrogant here if I say that, right? And that's why I say that maybe now this high might be taken and start doing the same thing, but in this area now, in this area here. Again, I don't use 5 minutes. Right? I got this chart here open just because I'm trying to build that study. All right. Now from the overnight, something that catch my attention, I'm going backwards now. Okay, I'm going backwards. From the overnight, the first thing that catches my attention is this as the market open, is this range, the range of this bar here. There's nothing below, there's nothing above, and market opening right there. All right, settle is way down here. Overnight inventory is very long, it's 100% long. Remember, 100% long here. the corrections of inventory here is don't and what I mean with correction inventory, right? The rebalancing the portfolios, right? Not the AES, but the brokerage firms, hedge funds, or trading offices, or office trading, so whatever those kind of participants in the market may have now after this just unbelievable break that we had here last week. Okay, now I'm going to put this one here to keep going backwards in time. Right? Just the market coming to this, we have called this area, you remember Friday, 66.50. At the time, this for me was an important area because it was an area, as you can see here. I'm going to maximize. Let me maximize this chart here. Okay, what am I maximize? At the time, this 6650 was the extension of the buy the dip strategy that the market was having. So what the heck is this guy talking about? What? I'm talking about this area here, this specific area here, because as the market keep breaking on Friday, I guess this happened during the stream. I was trying to figure out or to think, right, why this market can be bought, what the market was doing during all this time, right? You know, all these breaks here were bought here, the dip being bought here, and the next thing was this, and that's why I have this mark here, right? I guess that was close to the close of the stream. I say I wasn't sure. The last thing I said, I wasn't sure that I was going to sell any rally here because of the significant break, the impressive pullback that this market has had relative to this range, right? Relative to this range here. That's something I had in mind, right? But the market gave us this high here, and actually a rally was sold here. And I'm going to keep adding information to what I am talking. The hesitation of me doing anything like that was that I have seen something very, very unusual happening. There was a lot of activity. Let me see if I can change this chart settings. I have on 2 days. I'm going to load 4 days here because I want to see Friday too. Okay. Look at all the blocks, all the blocking that we had during this day. This area here, usually you don't see anything, right? Really scattered blocks, blocking. But how it come, you can almost see, right? How the periods were here. How these periods. There's a lot of activity that happened here. And this area here was this one here. This area here. There was just huge, very unusual charting that I have here. And on top of that, these red highlighted areas that you can see here were areas in which the volume was very, very high. This 1500 up here. I have 2500, almost 3000 down here. 2000, almost 2000 down here. So huge, right? That's huge. So at the time, what I thought here that there might be, there also some back and forth here were, in my opinion, were increasing at the time. And of course, as soon as I say that, well, the next thing the market did after I say that was, it gave us just a gigantic break. And I decided to, I was a little bit tired, I decided to walk away because I thought the market was down with this. And what the market gave us afterwards was something that I haven't seen really. And this is something I haven't seen in the past 5-6 years. I don't remember if I've seen something like this. Standard profile, let me open. Because, let me open this again. It was open, my bad. Because what happened after this, just pay attention to where the break starts, right? Kind of like around the center of this area, or this range that has formed. If I split this profile, let me see how I can split. What is that? I'm going to split it. No, I cannot split it twice. You will take this, but take this high and this low here, and this is about the center of that area. Okay? Notice the next one, close to the center of the previous period low. So that was absolutely mechanical, very, very short time frame. And what follows, K high, half back, L high, half back, H high, half back. There was no way for me to get in, to get back in this market, for sure for me. And this is what I haven't seen before. The really absolutely killing break that this market had, not in the run-off period, which is where usually spikes, very late spike, or the rebalancing happens. I say usually, be aware of that word, right? But very late, very close to the close, really. Seeming like, this was seemingly for me, when I didn't see it. I had to replay this to see how it happened. The way how it happened, the way how this happened, was that the impression, or gave me the impression of the following. Okay, and this is very important for me, in my opinion, for what might be happening now. Let me see, how do I close? How do I make this smaller? Come on, I cannot make it smaller now. Oh, yeah, that's it. Okay, let me close this. Okay, no, still not. First, having consideration, this was Friday. All right, it was Friday. That's the first thing. Was Friday, which is end of the week. Having consideration what the market was doing lately. Of course, mechanical, systematic, short-term trading. We expect that what happened before will happen again. Okay, that's for sure. It will happen. Right? Remember this area here. It worked before, it's going to work again. I was aware that something like this may happen sometime. You know what was going to happen Friday, right? And what traders or short-term traders would have been thinking, just imagine this. This market is going to come back, man. Has retraced so much now that it has to come back. It did before. All dips were bought, and this dip is not different. So just imagine being long in this market, all these longs here, being long up here, and just waiting to come back after this big break here, right, waiting to come back to this market, that this market will come back and close at least inside or above this weekly time frame, so maybe up here, or maybe close to, oh, sorry. Maybe something around the 700, maybe, right? Just because that's what the market was doing. And to your surprise, just nothing like that happened. I'm going into the weekend praying or hoping that the market will come back up here. Was just an unfortunate idea, right? Because the markets are just irrational. You can't do that. And somehow you are deep underwater. You have to do something, and what that is, you got to liquidate. And that is, in my opinion, what happened during this run-up period here. Not just before the closing, because it just dropped up like 50, 60 points, something like that. Right, something like that. Notice where settle is, settles up here, where last is way, way down below. And also it has something to go. It has some kind of technicalities here, which is the 50 moving average, right? That was just kind of like achievable. Right, it was just there. This was another reference. Remember that this market started to trade here. It started to bring volume here in this area. So all of this inventory was basically rebalanced, taken care of, and now in just one day it went from long to being extremely short. Too fast, too far, right? Too far, too fast, too much. And there also some rebalancing happening at the close, but just there. But the thing is, it just didn't happen. It didn't happen. So that's what I think happened in that period. Now, I keep going backwards here. Okay, I keep going backwards. Wait a minute. What the heck is that? Okay, pills time. I had to take pills at noon, and that's why you always hear that alarm at noon. All right. Now, to do the following thing, you have those who did not liquidate it, those who got margin calls, all that things have to do that thing today, right? Because if you're going to try to do that overnight or over the weekend, there is not just enough volume there. The movements and the ranges that market can have if they try to do that during the overnight, it will be just extremely high. Very wide and wide ranges because there is just not volume. These markets are too thin in the overnight. Of course, that when there is something going on, there is, traders are available 24/7. Right? They will just do it, no matter what. But that, I think that's not the case today or now, because there's not enough. No, there's not too much. Even though uncertainty is high, it's still here. We got this president. We have a president that do crazy stuff any given time. Markets are, there's not a big thing that can trigger this kind of movements. Right? Meaning, I mean in a meaningful way. 2% retracement, that actually is between the odds, right? It's normal. This kind of breaks that we had is normal. Of course, now that the market, that this breaks the 2%, now that the market is at 7,000, it's going to look bigger than when the market would have been, for example, 4,000, right? Like a couple years ago, or 5,000. That 5% or 2% of 5,000, how much is it? 100 points? 2% of 7,000 is 150 points. So you just have an idea. Now, the first thing, this rebalancing, this extremely mechanical inventory has happened. Why? Has happened. I could call copy and move drive. I could call this one here. This one here. Maybe the spike base. Alright. I can call this a spike base. Copy, modify text. Let's play back to the downside, right? The first thing the market did today it opened above the spike. So lower prices here are being rejected, in my opinion, right? This part has been taken care of. What is going now here is adding inventory to this overnight. It's not a little thing. We have 400K, 400,000 during this overnight. There's a lot of volume here, but this can be related to this part of the market, right? So this part of the market, and we had especially the big spike to the downside. Let me name this. What is the volume? What is the overnight low here? 55 or 65.40. Okay. Oh, 65.40. Copy and move down here. Is this overnight belongs to this day? Modify text. Then. Oh my, this computer is too low, man. What device? What? It may crash. 62% memory. It's not that much. I guess I have too much. Let me close this. No, still, I need this to finish this. What I was talking. Just let me close. Let me save. Let me save this chart because I don't want to lose. All right. Something very unusual that I have here, and that's why I have this highlighted here, is the volume that I have. Why is too wide this? Why do okay, this one. This one is this volume. Look at this. Just check the volume you have here. I mean, what I'm trying to show here is there are anomalies, right? Now this is just normal profile, but this is quite the thing, right? You have zero volume. There was absolutely no ask here. No ask, absolutely. You can check that in Nasdaq, for example. I guess, man, these ranges are just too big, but man, ranges are too big. Let's see. You can show the overnight. Look at this. Look at this. There's nothing there, but the same thing, right? It's huge volume here, where the market open. Now here. So these kind of trading that happened here. They knew they were what they were doing there. There was just absolutely nothing there. If you get anything like trying to buy the market, buy or sell the market at the opening over the weekend, was just a really really risky, really absolutely no idea of the risk that you were taking. Okay, thinking that the market may open down here or somebody here. It was just super super risky. You know? Having the type of day that we had, right? Now, one of the main things that I am observing here is where this. Okay, let's remove this thing. Erase it down. This area here, that this dotted highlighted area, was this low here. I was checking at the time, of course. I was checking, and I use. Let me erase this because these are not a reference anymore. Okay, this one still remains. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 highs here basically. So there's a lot of stops here in this area. Okay, there's a lot of stops here in this area, and notice where the market is at, just half back of this day. Is this half back? Is it? Yeah. So this is not a good high, absolutely terrible high. I use this. Let me see if I can show you here, for example, right? This is the overnight. This is if this was regular trading hours. This is an unfinished auction here. There's volume pressure to the upside, but it just don't don't have it, right? It is weak and poor, and an unfinished action. So the market is going to take this area are very high, higher for me than these ones. For example, I can see the volume drying here, the action being completed here. This kind of upsides, I don't like this kind of upsides. This kind of upsides either. But let me see if I can find that in the regular trading hours. I don't see anything like that now, right? But this was, okay, very similar to what I have shown you during the overnight, right? At this low here, that was this area here, this one here, this area here. There was just an impressive amount of volume down here at a very low, pressure into the downside. But sometimes markets got too short and needs a rally just to break forward. Okay. So this one is not a reference anymore. I was checking the monitor the market. This one may look like the market is making a stand here. And what happened now is you will see this happening when the markets move higher. They just green its way high, right? Make you doubt that the markets are going to go higher, that markets are going to break any time, which actually that's a fact. It can break any time, but it needs inventory to move fast, right? Like we did yesterday. But just imagine, right? Trying to catch the movement or trying to upfront in that movement. Notice how much time has passed since August, right? August, September, October, and there's like 2-3 months here before we can have this. If we were trying to short this market, probably now we had no capital, nor financial or mental capital to take advantage of days like the one we have here, right? Because we were trying to short so market that is going high. Now this market is in the process of rebalancing, and now I'm going to go to where I started here. As the market drop, as the market break on Friday, one of the things that I have is that these weekly lows, which are this one here, and this one here, right? They were just there. I was just there. The first thing the market did took this low out, right? Meaning that the market is not it's breaking out the range, right? Previous week range, That's one thing, and potentially targeting. I mean, the target was this area actually. Later, maybe targeting these two areas. Right? In my wildest dream, I would not have foreseen something like happen here. Trying to say or saying that, oh boy, I missed. I should have cashed that. I knew that's what was going to happen. That's just surreal. That's in the dream category. Now, what I was checking here is, okay, how much time is left to the end of the month? We are not even halfway into this. The market was up here. When I was thinking that the market was up here really, right? And we are getting close to have some kind of maybe another cut from the Fed. Also, earnings are approaching, and markets need room to run higher. And this market was just too high, right? The structural market was too weak that I was thinking, I was thinking maybe if earnings will start to pour in a couple of weeks, I guess. When? Let me see when. We are the week 4. I guess next week, right? Yeah, we're at week 4. Maybe, yeah, at the end of this week, earnings start and big tech start to report the week after that. So this market needs some room to do some movement. And I was thinking anything that happened probably is going to, I mean, especially after the high expectations that there is on tech, there could be some surprises there. All right. Then first the market has to deliver, and if pretty much beating expectations, but wide margins, if that didn't happen, probably we'll see some kind of breaks, right? And then some kind of wild things there. That is what I thought when the market was up here. And the market now has room actually to go higher, to go lower. It's not coincidence now that it's happening, that this is happening just before earnings, right? Now I'm going to go to the higher time frame, the weekly. And the first thing I notice when the market opens, wow, what the heck is this? This is a trend line I have. Is the market going to trend below, start going higher, but kind of like respecting this trend, which is what it did here, right? I don't know where this one is coming from, but this is coming from probably from a couple of years even. Or it can start going higher using this as a base instead as a support instead of resistance if it is going lower here. Which one is going to be? I have no idea. Really no idea. And here comes, for me, I think is the most important, which is the monthly time frame here. Okay, the market is taking this high out here. I'm going to see if there's some sideways trading here, another range building on this side. Now, the expectation, notice this. What do you think most traders are doing now in this market? I will be short in this market. The market is going lower. Well, okay, I know this market is going lower now. Remember, we are back. We are back to where the market was. And the same behavior that we have here, the same thing may happen all over again. And the most important part for me is I'm going to extend this trend, this little one here, extend to right. Okay, because if any significant, anything of significance, anything significant happen here, market may come to this low here, because we still have plenty of time to the end of the month. The market may start developing down here and set itself to open next month very close to this low. That's one scenario that I am thinking, very close to this low. And from that point, anything can happen, right? If this one is taken, that will represent change. After all, look at this, all this upside. This is a strong market. All this upside market has had. And what is this? June, August, right? Failing, failing to take previous day low, previous month low. So the trend remains here. Market is going high. It's very elongated though. Right now we may have like 11% gains relative to last year. Okay? This is what I am checking now. But before getting over here, remember market, the first thing that has to do is take care or close this distribution up here. This area here, this area that I have here, which is between this low, the current month low, and this month high. But this is just technical analysis, right? The market has to deal with this. First, has to close this one. If this one is not closed, when the market gets close to the end, I think the odds of market trying to reach this low or getting or taking this low out decreases. And notice how I have go back from what the market is doing right now at this moment in time, or at that moment in time, right, like 30, 40 minutes ago, and I keep going, like I did zoom out. I keep zooming out to express an idea, not an idea, maybe to have a panoramic view of what the market is doing, to have context, to put price in context. So to put what is happening now here in context. All of those things are really hard to keep it in my memory, in our memory. And unless you do that consistently during the session, during the breaks, during break meaning when I'm not in the market, right? I'm doing my studies, I am checking the market, analyzing, or just doing my homework. That information will not be in the back, in my subconscious to be accessed. It will be lost. And what can happen, or what happens all the times, is, and this is very counterintuitive, right? The goal at the end, trading-wise, if I'm going to talk just about trading, is my goal is to have an appreciation of what the market is doing in real time, like right now, as 12, 21, and 47 seconds, 49. Right? That's what I want to be. I want to be in sync with the market and trying to understand, to assimilate. Look at that break here that happened here. Okay, those kind of breaks for me are kind of like a buying opportunities, but right now is a completely different day. All right. To understand, right, what's happening now in real time, so I can do something in real time, is, did you see how far back in time I had to go. Okay, look at this. China issues implementation rules on port fees on U.S. ships. So there's some negative news. This is not going. The United States has been so used that anything that the United States says has to be, the rest of the world has to comply. So, but guess what, right? That's not the old new. That is not happening now. And the odds that we are going to go back to that, for me, it's pretty close to zero. Right? I don't expect that to happen. I just have to accept a new reality. These kind of breaks that I see here usually are used, right, to seen as an opportunity to get back, to get long in this market that's going higher. But remember, it depends on your time frame. Right? It will depend on your time frame. But did you see how this, how I'm going to say, maybe technical analysis that I have, or view of the market I have? Right? I had to go daily, previous overnight, previous days, previous sessions, right? Checking other markets, being aware of the news, or potential news that this market is may have. And that's the importance of time frames, right? It looks to me like this market is setting up, for instance, oh, look at this volume here. There's just nothing. I think that this may have some upside. The way how it dries is just dry here. You need to come back. The market went too high, too fast. It needs to come back a little bit to keep going higher. But again, I am not interested in this market right now. It is so sensitive to news, man. It's so sensitive to news right now. We have excess. We may have excess in the upper side. We may have excess here in the upper side, or this market may start a new distribution here. And my main thing for the next day, if that happens, is the market going to keep the distribution or the distributions if that is what happens? Right? Remember, the stages of trading. Right now, I am in this phase. Observation. I am observing the market. I'm just observing, trying to be one of the market, trying to be the market, taking the information the market is delivering to me. I have no bias here. Maybe you have here something in the last 30 minutes, something that I am not aware of. If you can say that I am looking to the upside or I am looking to the downside, I think I am neutral, but sometimes it's just different. But other people perceive it's different than what I am actually saying, and that can be a danger for me if I'm not aware. Right? I am still in this phase. I haven't seen anything. I am still in this phase. I haven't seen anything here, right, that can start, right, that can begin or trigger the new phase of the process, of the trading process, which is the planning, right? Which is the planning. in this planning is when if I see an opportunity, if I see an opportunity here, I will start. It triggers the next phase, right? It says risk. Is there really something here? How much risk I am willing to take? And start planning where to place stops, what the market needs to do, how do I am going to monitor the trade, right? And regarding or relative to this, from here, I can be either flat, remain flat, I can go long, or I can go short. Any of these things will take me to the third phase, which is the performance, in which I am going to monitor the trade, right? I'm going to see how the market is doing, right? And this is the most, how can I say this, expensive part, mentally talking. If I have certain amount of mental capital, which is very important, and few people really, not too much people, especially if I talk about retail. This is not in the vocabulary of retail trading, actually. You know, there's a mental capital that I have to spend during the day, during the session. You have a mental capital that is available to spend here. Most of the mental capital is spent here in this phase, right? If I spend, for example, 80%, if I deplete 80% of my mental capital during the day, or 60, or just 7, 90% of that capital is going to be spent here. And this is just my observations, right? It's going to spend here. So after I do this, I need to replenish this. I need to rest. I need to relax. I need to go back to this part of the trading cycle, which is the observation. And this is the reset. This is the reset part. Or let it go, in which I have to let it go of anything. Let it go. I can highlight this phase. For Friday, for example, when I thought that this market, I will not be willing to sell anything, selling rallies here on this data, but as the market break 100 points to the downside and not is doing it without me, I still have to let it go. I still have to reset. If I don't do this, I just cannot start a new cycle. And this is just me, okay? This is just me. Look at this. This is trying to close. It's trying to close this. It's trying to close this one here. Something's happening with my computer, man. It's just so slow now. Is this market slow, really? Is my computer or is the market that's really slow?
We're not collections of atoms and molecules. We are, but that's not the right way to think about it.
We're not fixed things. We are constantly developing.
We're all capable of so much
Okay. You know what? I think I'm going to let what I'm seeing here. I think is what is the bigs now? Man, this bigs is coming down. It's 19 now. It's coming down really quick here. If I'm going to look for a trade, I am going to find a trade. One of the things, and now, uh, as if I have a plan, for example, not a plan for trading, but a plan for growing, to be a plan to build a plan, right? A plan to build a plan. One or before, I would have seen this. Oh, okay, this market is closing here. No, I'm going to go long here. This is seen as an opportunity, but right now, that for me, at least for me, that would be looking for a trade, just like that. I'm looking for a trade. Now I understand. I have something that comes just with time, just when you do this thing over and over, and you are, at least in my case, you are punished for the market so many times, you just get out of control. You just get owned by the market multiple times, and I cannot recall how many times that happened before. But that learning process, or at least was my case, I've been conscious of those mistakes, right? Being conscious of the mistakes and the lessons that I have learned over time. It helped to create a sense of, in some way, to build your intuition. Now there is something out there that I don't know how to describe this, but I guess the closest thing is intuition. You really build something there, and it is not based on numbers, it's not based on technical observation, it's not based on charts, it's not based in those kind of things. It's just, or maybe it is, right? But it is just something that I feel that I have learned to associate that with what I am observing, and what now is part of the structure of my plan. And that part was unconscious. It's kind of like you can call it gut feeling, right? It was learned over time. It's not something that I was born with. It was very painful, very, very painful process. Absolutely painful process of learning. But now I can, if I don't have that thing, if I don't have that feeling that, okay, there's something here, right? If I don't have that feeling, I don't do anything. Right? And I don't care if that's an uncomfortable feeling, or that is a kind of, because it comes in different ways. Sometimes you have tremendous doubt. Sometimes it's, whoa, what the heck is this, right? Something, okay, something is just so obvious that you just can't avoid to second guess yourself, because is this real? Things like that, right? Things like that. I have not had that today. It was just mere or pure observations here. I will start. This one is what I'm going to talk now is something that I talk at kind of like at the beginning of the stream, right? and is the market going to form a second distribution, right? After watching this market going back and forth, right? Now, remember, where's the 5 minutes? Do I still have that 5 minutes chart? Did I close it? No, it's here. Okay, I have to come after watching this market. You know? What do you think traders will be thinking here? Right? Okay, now it's going to come here. It's going to come here. I want to be short because I know what the market is doing, right? And the market is going to come down here. And I find myself now, you know, with the market trying or pretty much forming a second distribution up here. The market may come up here and start doing the same thing like this. So I can try to do something, maybe selling up here, but that will be planning ahead, right? Trying to anticipate the market. That kind of trading, I have to, if I am going to plan something like that, that's when I have a very tight stop. For example, market may come up here, and I may go short for here, for example, right? Where is this distribution close? Let's just put in a number here. 42.50. I can sell maybe a 42, and my stop is going to be just 3 ticks higher, for example. Right? If this distribution is close, I'm out. The market may come down, crashing all the way down here, but that's the plan. If my stop is taking, I'm not going to get back in the market. That's not how that trade was designed or planned for. All right, and if that happens, you also accept that what can follow is not something big. Right? I have to be ready to take profits or to move the stops, kind of like you can call it trailing stop, but as the market develops lower, you start moving lower, tend to log some gains there, because what can happen afterwards is not that much. Check this out now, for example. What's happening now? Where this market has come down to? This distribution here has been closed. So there's no distributions now. This is one whole market now. This has been closed. Probably we were talking about this potential trade that I may have, right? That's planning, trying to anticipate the market's high, what can do. That has happened now in the lower side. Now this market can move higher, but this movement, if I am long, using the same kind of planning that I have here, would have taken me out, taking my stop out here. This would have taken my stop out on the market. Okay? Because this invalidates the plan. There's something here though. Let's see if this gives us. Okay, look at this high. Look at this high here. You know, low volume but high blocks here. I am not sure if my charts are slow. Is this market really moving that slow? Or it is my computer? Is it my computer? One of the reasons, okay, look at what the market is doing in the 5 minutes time frame, right? And check what the market is doing. This market is trending higher now. Here is still in range. Okay, this market is going to come down here, right? Because it did it before, 1, 2, 3 times before, 2, 3 times before. It's going to do it again. But can you see? Can you see what really is happening? There's an intraday trend here. It's a rotational market, but right now I have no reason to go short, for example. Right? Okay. It has a slightly higher volume than Thursday. Do you have any comments here? You wanna ask something? Definitely, it's the chart. The chart is slow. This chart is slow. You can see I'm killing time here. Where's the spy? I guess the spy also. Okay, the spy's here. The spy has a better look because I can see continuation here. Huh? It's not like the ES that has contracts. ES has contracts. Wait a minute. Duplicate this. There's a range there. Look at that. What do I have? What do I have here? Do you have anything on the lower side here? No. This is just a 50. Every time these dips are, we have these dips. This may have this may be support resistance actually. Can you see? This may be resistance. This high here. Every time we have these dips, it's getting closer to the 50. Next time it may go through. All right. Unless you have any questions, I'm going to be calling it a day. And wish you a good rest of trading day. Oh, something that I am thinking. I have opened a SIM account on TradEFI. I'm thinking how, because my this is how I trade, right? I just have this thing here. I don't have charts that can locate, that can place, a marker where I'm going, where I'm long or short. I think I can use that. I'm just call a chart there, so I can visualize. So just for the stream, right? If I place a trade, I can just copy that into that simulator, so it can be visible. Price axis. Doo-doo-doo-doo. Doo-doo-doo-doo. Spy trading. I guess I can. I don't need this. I don't need this. Do I? No, I don't need. Oh, look at this. What is this? 10 minutes? Yeah, 10 minutes. This is better. Can see this. Oh, okay. Look at this, man. This is Nasdaq. This is the yes. Let's do it that way better. Peelings. I am, what I'm doing here, basically killing time here. There's one thing before I leave. If you are not able to stand up and walk away from your desk because you think that you will miss an opportunity, odds are that you are at risk there. You got FOMO there. Or that something can happen, something not good can happen to you is really increasing or are higher than you think. That I can say. That's fear. If you have fear that you will miss something, still have some work to do. Because the market is not going to go anywhere. Opportunities are always going to be there, and we got to embrace uncertainty because we don't know when things are going to happen. I have something to do, so walk away. If something happened, okay, so what? I'm not in. My next time. My goal is survive. I have survived. That I can say after movement, right? That's the goal when we're learning here. And many people also don't understand or underestimate that part, right? Anything we do in life requires learning. How long is it going to take us to learn something? The fact that I have done something good or I'm doing something good in another area, it doesn't mean that I'm going to just translate that or move that transpond that to trading. Trading has its own process. It takes time, tremendous amount of times, depending on your physical or your physical. I can say physical too, but mostly your emotional state, right? How emotionally stable we are. I have tremendous amount of trauma that I have to deal with, and really, man, I need it. I still need professional assistance, right, to deal with that. Because it's something that you just, it's a journey. Trading is a journey. I just keep learning, and it never ends, man. It just never ends. Oh, look at this. This is what market profiles in Thinkorswim. Look at that. Very, I didn't. This is when I had window trader. As the window trader was really expensive, I really was hesitant to go with Sierra because Sierra has so many options to that you have to adjust in order to what you are seeing here, for example, in Sierra. What you seeing here, all these things that you see here in Sierra, it wasn't easy, well. First, I guess window trader played an important role in the development of what I have here. If I have not been with Windows for I guess 4 years, I was with them. I would not have understand what I wanted, right? What I want to have in my charts, which is basically this one and this one. These ones are just because I have space in my screen. But basically, these are the two things, right? That I look mainly. Right? I didn't know. I didn't know that Thinkorswim has the same thing. I mean, at least I can see market profile. It's kind of like a really rough volume here. Right? If you check this volume, for example, this volume profile, it's pretty much the same as this. If I highlight this, you will see this formation accumulation here, those accumulation here, right? Today, but I had to elongate here so I can see that. But it's not as well. It doesn't look that good, right? But if I want to see market profiles, I got market profiles here. I have expanded market profile as well. I can expand, but I cannot have both at the same time. This is the expanded profile, because basically bar charts. But what I can add here is a value. This is value area. And notice what value area is here, for example. Right? It's not that exact though. There's some things that I need to do manually. I don't remember. I remember how to adjust this manually every day to catch. Let's catch. Where's value area high here? 97, low 70. What is this? Look at this. It's a little bit lower than 97. 70, a little bit lower than. So it's not that exact. It has the same parameters though. It has the same parameters. 60%, 70%. But it just doesn't do it. And I needed this part, these histograms. I really need, and not just the histograms, but the coloring here. You know, I color high volume, medium volume, and low volume. When I made the decision to switch to Sierra. It took me maybe 80 or 90 hours. Well, I see something like that, maybe 100, maybe more than that. I guess it was more than a week. I was just digging into this, into the settings, trying to adjust what I linear fields and adjust the charts so I can have this thing. It took me more than 100 hours. If I remember, more than a week, 8-10 hours daily trying to figure out. So it was a long time, man. It's a long time digging there just to have this. But after I had this, man, this is you learn. I think that's what you learn to love. I really, because I wasn't the other. I think Sierra has that thing, right? It's alienate people. I thought at the beginning you either hate it or love it, and I hate it with passion. I cannot state how much I hated Sierra, man. Really. Now I love it. Really, I really love Sierra. It has so many things, Sierra. It has so many things that I can see here. I can have here. I can add here. It's really, really nice. Let me close this. I'm going to close. Yeah, something's going on here on Sierra here. It's just too slow. The response time is too slow. Maybe because the stream is up too. Alright. Well guys, I hope you have a wonderful rest of the day. Stay safe. I can see you another day. Bye bye.